Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Oh, yeah. Good morning, good people. Welcome to Feel Good Friday. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. That's right, it's Feel Good Friday. The chat's already blowing up. We ready for Cowboys football, so let's discuss. Dak is returning today. We're going to talk about why that's important and where he ranks. There was an interesting metric that we didn't get to last show. We're going to get to in this show. And then later in the show, we'll talk about 5 players on the bubble. There's 5 players on the bubble with the most to prove. And of course, we're going to open up the Pulse of the Nation hotline. 351. Wait, let me see here. 351-999-3787 to talk about Cowboys football. I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend. I'm excited for Dak to be back. I had a little bit of conversation about that yesterday on Boss's show, which was awesome. So we're going to get into it. But before that, y'all know how I do. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Am I too loud? Am I too low? It don't matter though, because we good to go. You know how I do. I fix it. We get rolling. Shout out to the chat in the building right now. We got Adam Mack in the building. Paul, Adrian Freshfade, B-Bird, Mr. Crumb himself, Trey Manning, always first on the scene. Always first on the scene of the crime. Rodney in the building. Dre, the great, Stevie Mack, the mod guy, James Rogley, Rabbi Rab, Matt Goddix, and Keith Matthews, my lady Michelle, and the many, many more coming through. C. Burleson, I see you. John, I see you. And we'll have Facebook joining us as well. Shout out to Facebook over there. Shout out to Twitter as well. But I do got one question, just one question for everybody, because it's Friday. It's Friday. Are you ready for the weekend? If you're ready for the weekend,
give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
Y'all know me. I love me some WWE. I'm ready for the weekend, man. Final preseason game. We finally are getting our guy back into the mix. And yeah, I'm just ready. I'm ready. I'm excited. Look at that. Look at all those hell yeahs. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, before we drop into the morning roundup, because we're going to get into it. Y'all, we hit 10,000 subscribers. That deserves it. I'm gonna let them finish. Because let me tell y'all something. I'm a very humble person. I believe in just put my head down and keep working. But I listen, y'all. I feel good about this because we put in a lot of work on this channel. I think that we do it the right way as well. And we go the extra mile. I enjoy going the extra mile. I enjoy putting in that work. And to see that you guys enjoy it as well to this magnitude, man, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Shout out to Stevie Mack, the mod guy, holding it down during this whole time. The Cowboys Network, a.k.a. Sosa, a major part of this. Let me tell y'all something. Believe it or not, a lot of you guys may be new. This channel started up in October after there was a situation with the other channel. So between October and now, we hit 10,000 subscribers. And that's without posting a single time in July due to the move. So man, I feel good about it. I thank you guys so much for rocking out and continue to rock. Well, we hit 10K. Now we go to the next level and the next level and next level. And that's what I'm about. You know, I'll celebrate the moment, but then it's going right back to work to make sure that we bring you guys some of the best content. Like, I put a lot of work into the show. I don't want to just, the content is the content, right? You always come for the content, but I also want you guys to enjoy the show. You know, something that you don't normally see. So I try to go out my way to make sure that happens. So thank you. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Mark Holmes in the building, one of the pillars of the Cowboys YouTube community. He's definitely been an OG behind the scenes, kind of talking to me over the last 2 years prior to this channel. So salute to Mark Holmes, salute to Law Nation, Big Game James, Boss, all those guys, Vach, Joe Rod, the new guys coming in, Tuck. Hell, I still feel like I'm new. Jay Tuck, Foots the King, not new, another pillar. Rome, you know, then you got Star Gang, Space, the OG, Shango. I'm just going through the whole community, but I don't know. I feel like when one of us win, we all win. So, you know, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody. All right. Keith said, how do I change my name? Can't have the government out there. I don't know, Keith. Gotta go to your settings, man. Gotta go to your settings. One more time, though. If you ready for the weekend.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
You know what time it is.
It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time.
It's time.
It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Round them up. It's a lot of information that came out over the last couple days, all the way up till this morning. And we'll get to that in a second. But Dan Quinn, oh man, shout out real quick. Oh my gosh, right off the boom, boom, boom. Shout out to you.
Super chat.
Had a couple super chats in the building. Rabbi Rab with the $4.99 donation says, what's up, bro? Keep pushing. Thank you. And then Dylan said, $35 donation says, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, CD Pigley know that he know about that Vader time. It's time. That's my stuff right there. All right, look, Dan Quinn, y'all. He finally got to speak. And he's eyeing his return. I think he'll be back this week as long as he passes the protocol where he has to have 2 negative results for COVID. Should I say that word? I don't know. YouTube is weird. Two negative results, and then he can return. But he said a few things to the media yesterday. He stated that the reason why he came out of the Texans game is because he felt off. He felt some tightness in his morning workout, but he feels fine now. And that he has to have a negative test, 2 negative tests, and he'll return. So, real quick, shout out to Joe Witt Jr. Because Joe Witt Jr. held it down, and Dan Quinn saw that. He even said, hey, Joe Witt Jr., when I said he's the boss, he acted like the boss right away and went ahead and handled his duties right. And he praised the 3rd down defense, which held the Texans 0 for 10 for the entire game. I think the Cowboys are in good hands with Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. solely working on the defense together. And I know it's preseason, but it felt good to see that guys rallied around Joe, and Joe was able to handle it. He hasn't been a defensive coordinator in this league yet, and I think the Cowboys were actually looking at him at first, if I'm not mistaken. So I gotta give big praise to Dan and to Joe, and hopefully the Cowboys can get Dan back this weekend as they prepare to ramp up for Tampa Bay. What you talking about there, James? Oh, yeah, we're not talking about the crate challenge right now, James. Rico Dowdle is gone, y'all. Cowboys suffer a blow to the running back depth, losing Rico Dowdle for the season. During the preseason, he showed off, in my opinion, kind of his all-around running back ability. Had 22 carries, 99 yards, 4.5 yards per carry in the preseason. And his longest run of 25 yards against the, I believe it was Steelers. That sucks for Rico. For the running back position in general, I think the Cowboys will be fine because they have, in my opinion, two of the best. Let me put it this way. One of the best running backs in the game in Ezekiel Elliott, paired with Tony Pollard, you got one of the best duos in the league. But it does suck for Rico Dowdle, and it opens things up for Hardy and Knox, who will take over those duties this Sunday. And we'll talk about them later on in the show. They are actually a part of those top 5 guys that need to do something. They got to do something. They got to do something. Also, in other running back news, this dropped this morning. If you guys didn't notice this, the Cowboys have converted $8.6 million of running back Ezekiel Elliott's $9.6 million base salary into a signing bonus. What does all that mean? It's created $6.88 million in 2021 cap space. Adds more flexibility heading into the season with the roster cuts, and that's per Field Yates. Do I think the Cowboys are going to do anything with that? I don't. Just being completely honest. I think this money is the Cowboys do this. I feel like they do this every year. If I'm mistaken, y'all let me know. They did it last year with a couple players. The previous year, Tyron Smith, La'el Collins, Zach Martin. I even think Zeke was another restructure candidate. Matt says stupid move by Dallas front office. So I didn't get a chance to dive all the way into everything about this, but I saw some things on Twitter, guys, that said that this doesn't affect a possible out if the Cowboys want to later on. I have to do more research. It kind of crept up on us this morning, so I got to dive into it more, and I promise you I'll get that information for you if you don't have it already on Twitter. But you wonder, what are the ramifications down the line with Zeke's contract? Are we pushing some money down, kicking the can down the line where it's going to cost a lot to cut him if it gets to that point? Or will Dallas be fine in a couple years if they decide to move on? Or will Zeke just play out his contract, which would be, in my opinion, unprecedented? You don't normally see a running back get extended for 6 years and they play on all 6 years, but he's different. Zeke is different, and if he slimmed up, he looks in the best shape of his life, and if he has this mentality year in, year out, you could be looking at I'm not even going to say the name, but you could be looking at a long-term running back, which is rare in today's game. Benji says, am I right in thinking they can roll it over to next year? Yes. So I think that's what they'll do for the most part. I think they'll roll over his salary heading into next year. There's contracts coming up. Michael Gallup, Connor Williams, right? Keanu Neal, Leighton Vander Esch. There's some contracts. Maybe they use some of that money for their own. That's what they're known to do. The Cowboys don't go out and spend money in free agency. We'll see. I still find it strange that they could have made a move like this with Tyron Crawford and Sean Lee, saved a bunch of money and put that towards Dak and been done with it, but it is what it is. Fresh Phrase says, I really hope this is a sign for a Gilmore trade. Hold on, I got to hit you with one of these. I wasn't even thinking about that because I don't believe in the front office in making a move like that. I don't believe in the front office to make a move like that. And if you're making that trade, Fresh, you're probably giving up either premium draft picks or Michael Gallup. And I don't see it. I really don't see Michael Gallup being moved at this juncture. Way too important to the offense. You'd have to give up picks. I'm trying to think, who could they trade on this team aside from Michael Gallup. I don't think that Bill is going to trade Gilmore for Jalen. I think that would be a massive reach. Massive. Facebook in the building says, most definitely for Gallup. If we make a move, we need to find a quality backup quarterback. Yeah. The best move we made this year was Parsons, says Mike. All right, and finally.
Get your damn act together.
Get your damn act together, Sky. I actually meant this one. Finally, Dak is back again. He's full go. And we're going to lead that into the first word here in a second. So we've been talking about the worry meter on this show. If you're just now tuning in, we've mentioned the worry meter a lot, and mine's been fluctuating. At the beginning, not worried. 4, 3, 4, whatever. Then they talk about longer. It goes up to a 5, and then they talk about he can't participate. I was a little worried. What's going on? 6, and then he started to throw on the side, and I got to witness him throwing, and I'm like, oh, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Health-wise, y'all know my whole thing with this Dak Prescott situation was I just want him to get back into the flow of things with his teammates, and that's exactly what he started to do this week, and it's chef kiss perfect timing. And when you listen to the coaches, when you listen to Kellen Moore, it is now about leading up to Tampa. And if you recall in the previous shows, I said you can't go into the week of Tampa talking about, oh, now Dak is getting back to throwing with team 2 days before the game. Nah, man, you need to get him in. You need to get it going. You need to get it going. And they did this week, and that should make everybody happy. He finally got back into 11-on-11s, and apparently he looked great. Went 11 for 12 in team period. Only incompletion was against J-Ron Curse. And I know you're going to hit me with Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice, not a game. Practice. Yeah, we are. I value these team practice reps more than him getting 6 snaps against Jacksonville or Houston. I do. So let's take a listen to Kellen Moore on Dak Prescott being back.
Yeah, it's awesome to have Dak back. Obviously, in the team setting, that was the biggest thing. He's been around, obviously, each and every day in some capacity. But obviously, having him out there in 11-on-11 is huge. It's great for him. It's great for the morale of everyone on our team, I think, especially for our offense. And I thought he looked great, and we're fired up.
Did he have any limitations at all, or did he? And what's the plan going forward?
Yeah, we're just playing ball at this point. So we're not looking at anything from a limitation standpoint. We're playing football, and we're getting ready for, obviously from his standpoint, we're getting ready for the regular season in Tampa Bay.
Just one follow-up. So he's no longer on the pitch count?
No, we're just playing ball.
We just playing ball.
All right, thank you.
We just playing ball. What's up with Kellen Moore? Damn, Kellen, come on, man. Leave your fingers alone so I can hear. 3 things I took away from Kellen Moore. We talked about it. No pitch count, team setting. And we're just playing ball, getting ready for the regular season. That's all I wanted. That's really all I wanted. I just wanted for me to feel better about Dak Prescott going into week 1 as less rusty as possible. Because I think even with being back in team setting, there's going to be some rust to knock off. Right? Like there's got to be some rust to knock off for Dak Prescott because he hadn't played since October of 2020. So you want to get into week 1 with as little rust as possible. You know what I mean? And to do that is to practice. For a guy that not only hadn't played since October, but hasn't practiced in over a month, that would have been a rough go about it. But I'll tell you something. They said he looked. Now, no pads, no tackling, no hitting, things like that. Mentally, I don't know that there's a more mentally prepared player that I've ever seen than Dak Prescott. So I think mentally he'll be there. My guy, we had this discussion at dinner. My guy, Jesse Holly, said, I'm not worried about Dak mentally. He wants him to get hit. But to me, no quarterback is really trying to get, like, I don't think any coach really wants their quarterback to get hit in preseason. The Cowboys, all they have to do is just go back to 2016. Why the Cowboys have Dak Prescott right now. Granted, injury-prone quarterback, but Dak is coming off an injury. And you had a disaster moment. And I think that was at a time where you were like, yeah, let's get our quarterback some preseason reps. I think nowadays you're seeing a lot of teams in the NFL just not throwing them out there. Yes, Tom Brady got reps. Yes, Patrick Mahomes got reps. Half of the league did not throw out their starting quarterback out there. So, And last year, no teams throw out their starting quarterback. And look how Dak Prescott responded and other guys. They came out guns blazing. So I think Dak will be fine, healthy. He'll knock off some rust. But he's ready to go. He's ready to go. Let's get into the chat right quick. Boom. Shout out to you, MD Andrews, for the donation there.
Super chat.
He says, morning, Sky. Getting the check later, so I have a drink on me this weekend. Thank you, sir. Season's about to kick off in just a few days now. Let's celebrate. Excited to go watch it with the channels this season. Same here, man. Listen, we're just waiting for this dot on this I to be done, and I'll let you guys know how game days are going to be. It's going to be fun. Travis says, I love it, Sky. Remember when Dak used to be horrible practice player? Yeah, back during his rookie campaign and even in his younger years. I think he tried too much in practice because he always says it. I try to do extra in practice so that I know what not to do in the game. But I think being a 6-year pro, one of the better quarterbacks in this league, and we'll talk about where you have him, Dak knows how to maneuver in practice without losing any confidence, right? Like, Jesse made an excellent point. Backup quarterbacks at practice aren't going to do what a guy like an established quarterback is going to do, which then trickles down to the receivers. For instance, the backup quarterback's not going to make that courageous throw, that tight window fit, because he doesn't want to look like, hey, I can't get it done. I don't want to make a bad play. Coach is going to pull me out. And that trickle-down effect comes in with the receiver. I know Ben DiNucci and Garrett Gilbert and Cooper Rush are not going to throw the rock here. So it may not go as hard. I'm going to run it hard, but I'm going to run it knowing I'm not going to get the rock type of thing. And I thought, man, that was an excellent point. So getting Dak Prescott back not only helps Dak Prescott, helps the offensive line get back into the cadence. It helps the wide receivers during practice. Practice good, your odds of playing better increase. Trey said you need a later show too, Sky. Maybe we'll see what happens with that. I do miss the evening shows a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do miss the evening shows. Dennis said game speed is different than practice, and yes, regular season game speed is different than preseason game speed as well. Adrian says, sorry, but he needed a drive in the Texans game, in my opinion. Practice is great, but not the same. What would a drive? So a drive in preseason is going to make Dak that much more prepared for week one? Not this guy. I don't think a drive in preseason. Like, listen, if Dak didn't have the shoulder situation, by all means, let's rock. Let's get him out there. Let's get him a few series or what have you. But due to the shoulder injury, you had to be more cautious in preseason. I never got worked up about preseason. I got worked up because he wasn't practicing with his teammates in team drill, in team games, 11 on 11, 7 on 7. That's important to get that timing down leading up to the game. Granted, he's a 6-year pro. He knows what he's doing, but it's football. If you play the game of football, you need to practice. It just is what it is. So he's doing that now. I understand everybody's reserves about needing to get out there and this and that. But his shoulder was hurt. It is what it is. He injured his shoulder. So I think he all but ruled out preseason, right? It's about getting him ready for the regular season. That's how I look at it. What y'all talking about in here? Greg says, I'm getting the feeling we're going to go heavy on defense, light on offense when the 53 roster drops. We're going to do a 53-man roster projection on Monday, because on Tuesday, that is when the cuts have to happen to get down to 53, right? That's when they have to get down to 53. Dennis says, props to letting them know he was hurt. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. We forget that Dak actually was injured. His shoulder was injured, as opposed to they're not putting him out there because he was 100% healthy throughout camp. He wasn't. Like, that's why you don't throw him out there against live bullets, because those guys on the other side are trying to, I want to say hurt, but I mean, listen, I mean, you play the game, you're trying to hurt him a little bit. I'm not trying to hurt him and take him out for forever, but I'm trying to put the biggest hit make the hardest tackle, hit as hard as possible. And it's just unnecessary when you got an injured quarterback. Let him heal. Once he heals, get him prepared for week 1. That's what really matters. That's what really matters. Paul says can't play scared. No, and Dak won't. Dak won't. That's another thing. Dak, you got to save him some time for himself. Got to save him some time. Asmodeus, what's going on, brother? What's going on? All right. So there was this interesting article that came out about Dak, not even Dak Prescott, about quarterbacks. And I found it from my guy Tom Rao on Twitter. I think he had posted it. Writes for Blogging the Boys. And it was a NFL quarterback council where they put together, and I know I'm going to say these 4 letters. You're going to be like, boo, you know. ESPN put together a panel of analysts. And let me just make sure I pull this up so I'm not correct. I'm not incorrect here. Thankfully, they did not include Dan Orlovsky, because I would have just completely not even read this thing probably. But I'm trying to find the analysts they did include. I respect some of these guys. Matt Bowen, Tim Hasselbeck, Mina Kimes, Booger McFarland, Lewis Riddick, Mike Tannenbaum can be here. Seth Walder from, I believe, PFF, Field Yates, Sam Monson from Football Outside, and Aaron Schatz and Derek Klassen. So these are, a lot of them, at least to me, are analysts that, okay, I can listen to what they got to say. You know, they're not the Dan Orlovskys, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Max Kellermans, those who are going into this with an agenda, going into this trying to rile up the crowd and, you know, that whole thing. So what they did was they evaluated all the quarterbacks in the league in 12 different categories, and they ranked them with arm strength, accuracy, touch, mechanics, field vision, decision-making, compete level, toughness, pocket presence, scrambling, design runability, second reaction ability. And I found this a very interesting article. I'll bring it up actually, where they had Dak Prescott ranked. And this comes from, like I said, Tom Rao on Blogging the Boys. He's squarely ranked as a top 10 quarterback from most respectable analysts, most Cowboy fans, right? But I thought, man, this is interesting. Arm strength. Let's go down this list and see if you give me a agree or disagree on the ratings here. Arm strength 11th. And I'm not asking you to think about all the quarterbacks, but just kind of generalize. Okay, I could see Dak being here. He's ranked 11th in arm strength. Yeah. I think Dak can zip it in there, but I wouldn't. If I'm thinking of the strongest arms in the league, I don't think Dak comes to mind. So I kind of like that. He's right outside the top 10, but I think eventually he'll be in the top 10 when guys like Aaron Rodgers are going and things like that. Accuracy, I know I see that toughness. I'm going to get to that, Matt. Accuracy is 8. I think this one is a little low. Here's why. Dak Prescott doesn't get enough props for being an accurate quarterback. I understand the overall accuracy stat, the general percentage of completions is not an indication of being 100% accurate. But Dak Prescott, if I'm not mistaken, go back and look. I believe he's an all-time top 10, top 5 quarterback in accuracy. I don't give a damn what anybody has to say. If you are all-time top 10, top 5 in accuracy 6 years into your career, you're one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. So here I would have put him in top 5. Point blank, period. That too much? I'd have put him in the top 5. I do agree with touch. A lot of what you see some of the quarterback or receivers say, and I think Randall Cobb mentioned this, Dak Prescott throws a very catchable ball. And ever since about his 3rd year in the league, his deep ball touch and accuracy for that matter are some of the best in the league. Chandra says he doesn't have touch. I totally disagree. Dak Prescott, and so did all these respectable analysts. Dak Prescott has one of the most catchable balls in the league. He doesn't overfire it almost ever. Absolutely agree with this one here. Top 5 in touch in the league. Mechanics, 7. That was, honestly, I'm surprised they even ranked him that high because I thought they were going to go back to the beginning of his career where his mechanics were a little wonky. His mechanics were a little wonky. And then what happened? Our guy came in, John Kitna. What's up, Christian? John Kitna, man. John Kitna came in and worked on those mechanics, and I believe his mechanics look very good now. He's working on keeping that back foot together, keeping that elbow in. I like this here. I believe he's probably lower in the top 10, and they have him lower here in the top 10. The mechanics are good. I'm surprised some of you guys are shocked at this touch thing. I mean, what? Why do you think he doesn't have touch? Maybe we're getting the definition of touch confused, but I can see if you wanted to complain about his accuracy, because that seems to be the go-to thing for everybody that's, anti-Dak in a way. Is, oh, he's not an accurate thrower. But I disagree with that. But touch? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he puts it there. Field vision, 6. I'm again. But this is a good panel here. Right? This is a good panel, so there's no agenda. But if you can't drown out those other guys and some of the people that don't like him, I'm shocked that they had him at 6. I think Dak gets through his reads very well. Early in his career, he did not. He did a good job for a young quarterback, but he does a great job now getting through his reads, in my opinion, and field vision. So I'll take him in the top 7. Top 10. Decision making, 7. I think Dak takes care of the ball more than most quarterbacks in this league. I would have put him a little higher than that. Compete level. Now compete level in 8. Come on, man. Dak Prescott's one of the most competitive players in football. In fact, let me see who they had, if I can find it for y'all. Who the hell did they have above Dak Prescott when it came to the compete level? And we're fans. All we can see is what we see and hear what we hear. But I highly doubt there's too many quarterbacks in this league that compete harder than Dak Prescott. So compete level, they have, oh, come on. Now, see. All right. They have Dak Prescott at 8. Matthew Stafford at 7. Lamar Jackson at 6. Josh Allen at 5. Not a chance in hell I'm putting any of those guys above Dak Prescott when it comes to compete level. Then you got Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. I can live with those 4 above Dak Prescott when it comes to competing. But I'm definitely not letting you tell me that Matt Stafford, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen compete higher than Dak Prescott. Toughness, come on, man. Dak Prescott's top 5 quarterback when it comes. The dude tried to pop his ankle back in his leg. That's all I need to say about toughness. Scrambling, 8. That I actually agree with. Because if you look at, did I skip one? Pocket presence, 8. Pocket presence and scrambling are 8. A lot of these are 8. I actually think his pocket presence is exceptional now. At the beginning of his career, it was very questionable. But he moves around the pocket real well. I don't know who they have above him. But I think Dak Prescott is squarely in the top 10, closer to the top 5 in pocket presence. Scrambling ability, they have Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and Lamar Jackson above him. I think that's fair. Designed run ability, 9. That one was tough for me because in college, a beast in the design run. In the pros, in the red zone, Dak Prescott's a weapon in the design run. But then when you look at the list, come on, man. I mean, Josh Allen, Kyler, Lamar, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I'll take that over Dak. But, dog, they got Daniel Jones above Dak Prescott in designed runs. And Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts barely even played. And then Cam Newton and Taysom Hill. I mean, prime Cam, yes. Taysom Hill, all right, yeah, I'll give you that. Even though he's a backup, but all right, I'll give you that. I'm not doing Jalen, and I'm not doing Daniel Jones. They don't run Daniel Jones enough. And Jalen Hurts, he ain't played enough. The second readability, he's ranked 7th. I don't understand how you can say his field vision is 6 and then his second readability is 7. So I don't agree with that one. But overall, I have Dak Prescott squarely in the top 10 easily. But top 5. I have Dak Prescott in top 5. You can tell me Patty, you can tell me Russ, I'll even fight you a little bit on Russ, but whatever. I won't argue too much. You can go ahead and go. You can go Tom, even though I'll take that. But you can say Tom, and I'll be like, you know what, Aaron Rodgers, all right. But don't start throwing in Deshaun Watson and things like that, because I think Dak Prescott, at the very least, is equal to Deshaun Watson. But in the totality of the career, I think he's had a better career. So I think Dak Prescott is squarely in the top 10, talking about potentially being a top 3 quarterback in the next 2 to 3 years if he isn't now. But top 5 quarterback for me is where I would have Dak Prescott ranked. Am I crazy? Y'all let me know. 351-999-3787. Where do you have Dak Prescott ranked in your top 5? John Linder says, Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, Wilson. Yeah, I'm not taking Allen over Dak Prescott. That's where that ends for me. Not taking him. Adrian says, that's like Daniel Jones' only real strength is running. Yeah, I mean running, but I wonder if they had Daniel Jones in the top in scrambling ability. I don't. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. Miss Jackie said, funny thing, this rating of Dak, when Patrick Mahomes was in the draft, they had him as a project. So everyone's so sure of what a QB is. Why did Pat Mahomes get drafted where he did? I just think that's poor evaluation on the NFL. I talked about this at that dinner. I said, how do you seriously look at their college career and their tape and you say Chicago? This guy, Mitch Trubisky, is better than Deshaun Watson. Based off what? This guy, Mitch Trubisky, is better than Patrick Mahomes. Based off what? Like, Trubisky had one decent year at North Carolina, where Deshaun Watson was a national champion, played in the national championship game twice, and he had all types of ability. Patrick Mahomes' arm is super freaky. So I think that's just bad evaluation. Hey, we got another donation here in the chat.
Super chat.
Salute to Javon Brooks, $10 donation. It says, nope, you're not crazy. Dak is top 5. Yeah, I believe he is, in my opinion, I believe he is. John says, bigger arm, better runner, Allen over Prescott. That don't mean a damn thing. That don't mean nothing. Having a bigger arm and having a better running ability doesn't equate to being a better quarterback. Got to understand that. We're not doing fantasy. We're not playing Madden. We're talking about the quarterback position. Remember, Josh Allen just took off. And credit to his coaches and credit to him getting better. And I like Josh Allen, by the way. But overall, I think Dak Prescott is the better quarterback. He's a more accurate quarterback. He's the better leader, obviously, in my opinion. Yes, Josh Allen has a bigger arm. But what does a big arm do for you if you can't deliver it at the right location? What does it do for you? So give me Dak. It may be you're pricking hairs, but give me Dak because I've seen it longer. Josh Allen, I think, will be squarely up there as well. Surprised nobody threw out Herbert. A lot of people, I've seen this on Twitter, talk about giving me Herbert over that. I'm like, what are you doing? CD Piglet says, Josh Allen had one good season in that year. Dak had better stats before he was injured. Sky, later, let's discuss this in the DMs. Hit me up, man. Hit me up. I don't know where you got me at. I'm mostly on Twitter. Sometimes I need to get IG. I need to really stop playing and get IG. We had a caller in here, then they hung up. 351-999-3787. Before we move on, if you got more on this, let me know. What's going on, Mendoza? Matty O, Professor O says, Allen had 4 consecutive years going back to college, completing under 60% of his throws. 4. Yeah, it wasn't until last year, in my opinion, that Allen showed some better accuracy, but he also I think was one of the most. There's a stat out there. You can take it how you want to take it. I think it's turnover-worthy plays, and Josh Allen, I believe, ranked high in that. And Matteo, Professor O, you can probably tell me about that because you're big on PFF. I think Josh was ranking up there in turnover-worthy plays. All right, y'all. Let's hop into this thing. We got 801 in the building. You're on the show. Say your name, what it is, what it do.
I'm from Utah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Tiger?
Taggart. So Tag for short.
Tag. That's a nice name. Tag. What's up, Tag?
Hey, so I just want to give a shout out to Quinton Bohanna. I feel like he's been lost amidst all the other defensive standouts, but I am so pumped to be able to have quick and just a big man in the center of our defensive line. I think, if he doesn't make the type of impact I'm expecting this year, I bet he will next year. I am super excited about him and want to give him a shout out, even though a lot of the attention is on Joseph and Parsons and all the other defensive standouts, but super excited for him.
I'm with you, man. I waved the Quinton Bohanna stand flag on Twitter because I think he's going to be an integral part of this defense moving forward. He's looked good out there. He's got to improve on certain things, but he looks like he belongs.
Yeah, totally agree. And overall, I'm so happy that our defense has gotten better as a whole. I feel like each position has leaps and bounds better, but where they're supposed to be and people are executing on their jobs, I think we're, a middle of the pack, maybe even above middle of the pack defense. So I'm stoked for this year. Let's go with Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Let's do it, baby. Great call, man. Great call. I'm excited for the defense too, like we talked about before, because what I've seen in preseason, that speed is translating and things like that. But a little bit concerned about the interior depth. Tristan Hill's not going to be back. Neville Gallimore's out. I was already concerned prior, right, with Neville Gallimore there, with Tristan Hill potentially coming back. But once Neville goes down, I'm just shocked that the Cowboys are not bringing in more depth in the interior, because I like what we got. I like what the Cowboys have in Oso Digizua, but you still need depth, right? Like, you still need depth at that position. All right, 806, what it is, what it do?
Hey, yo, what's good, bro?
What's good, man?
I think Dak is a top 5 quarterback. You get a lot of flack because every year we expected to win the championship.
Yeah.
You credit Jerry Jones for that. But at the same time, Dak is a top 5 quarterback. You got Rodgers, you got Mahomes, and not in that order, but you got Brady and you got
Russ.
You got Russ. After that, man, who would you put before Dak?
I mean, I'm seeing in the chat, people are putting Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson over him, and Deshaun Watson.
Lamar Jackson is not a good thrower. Deshaun Watson doesn't have you don't want to center your team around somebody that's I don't want to talk down on the man's character, but you don't want to center your team around a question mark. Dak don't give you a question mark, man. Dak is solid.
Right.
He came in year after year. He proved himself. So what if he had a good offensive line? So what if he had a top 5 running back? You see what I'm saying? You don't want to get his guys his props because his owner is Jerry Jones. And a lot of people are going to eat a lot of crow, man, because, they not giving Dak his full credit as a quarterback. He's a leader. He's a fighter. He's tough. He's everything you want in a quarterback.
I was just about to say, isn't he the prototypical quarterback, right? Like, that's what you want.
Exactly. I mean, look at I told my son last night, every year it's about 3 or 4 quarterbacks coming into the league, and they get all of this hype. And in 3 or 4 years, they're out the league. So the last 6 years, can you name 2 quarterbacks that, in the same draft that was picked before that was picked at the top of the draft that's still, a major, it's ridiculous, man. The year Dak was picked, he wasn't picked until, the 4th round? The year Russ was picked, he wasn't picked until the 3rd round. Look at these guys who was picked before them. Who was Daniel Jones? That's
And Daniel Jones, the cat from Washington. Man, there's a lot of busts that happen, and you know, you got a fourth rounder who's turned into one of the best in the league, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Dak, and I see and hear someone said about Josh Allen's trajectory. We got to understand, Dak still, like, you don't stop becoming a better quarterback once you get paid, in my opinion. If you're a guy like Dak, we heard Tony Romo say it. You're never done tweaking your game. We see guys like Russell Wilson. And I'm talking about some veterans here, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, continuing to tweak their game. He has that type of work ethic, and now he has the talent to go with it. This cat is only going to continue to get better. A lot of these quarterbacks really become their best after they're 30. Once they hit that 29, 30 mark, they become even better quarterbacks, the best of the best, I mean.
It's like fine wine, man. You know, you get better. If you have leadership qualities like Dak have, you can only get better from that. Because that's something that you can't teach. You can surround these guys with whoever you want to surround them with. Josh Allen, he got Cole Beasley and he got Diggs. You know, before that, okay, he was a rookie.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny, brother? How people were ready to throw Josh Allen off the cliff, and he really didn't have much to work with in Buffalo. They go get Diggs, They get Beasley. Their defense played a little bit better the year before, gets into the playoffs, you know, have some success, and all of a sudden, Josh Allen now is this amazing player. And again, I'm not trying to do this, but I don't want to put down Josh Allen, but he gets help, and no one is saying anything about his help. But God forbid Dak Prescott has help. It's you know, Dak Prescott got this and got that. It's kind of silly to me, man. All quarterbacks need help. How does a quarterback play with that help?
How did Aaron Rodgers do with no help? You know what I mean? Only reason Brady did great with no help is because he had the coach, and they cheated at least 3 of their Super Bowls.
Don't sleep on Brady.
Like, come on, man.
don't sleep on the help over there in New England. They had it.
Yeah, but even Brady got hurt.
Yeah,
Brady missed the season. Castle came in, won 10 games. Nobody said, "Oh, Brady." You know, they didn't need Brady.
Right.
Brady was a great leader. Right. He's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's hard to compare the Patriots because they're kind of an outlier.
Exactly. But I didn't want to hold you, man. I appreciate you taking my time. But I did want to mention, I really look forward to Cox and Parsons.
Woo!
That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope. And I want to say that. I want to get out the way.
My guy, I appreciate it, dog.
Appreciate it.
Hey, man, we had a fiery show last night on Boss Cowboys channel about the linebackers, and I want full. Listen, never go full. You know, I ain't gonna say the word, but you know, never go there. I went there. I'm ready to rip the Band-Aid off. Give me Micah Parsons, Keanu Neal, Jabril Cox, moving forward. And when I mean moving forward, I mean right now. LV's playing well. I don't want to kick him off the boat, but Dan Quinn going to have to figure this out. He's going to have to figure out who is the core of our linebackers, and let's just roll with it. I look at it this way. Cox has showed me that he can play in this league. He has talent. He has the upside. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get going. Chandra says, legends make great receivers. QBs need legendary receivers. Not quite sure if legends make great receivers. QBs need legendary receivers. Wouldn't that be considered an oxymoron? Legends make. That's a riddle. I'm gonna have to try to figure this one out, Chandra. Legends make great receivers. QBs need them. Yeah, you gotta put that in the chat. Let me know what you mean by that. Mendoza says Sky was spot on last night. I appreciate it, brother. Those three are the future. I'm bringing Neal back. That's the thing. Like I said this before on one of our shows. If Keanu Neal shows that he can play linebacker at a high level, I'm trying to get him signed in the middle of the season. Because remember, LVE's on a 1-year deal. Keanu Neal's on a 1-year deal. And unless Jalen Smith somehow turns it up this year, I mean, I don't mean just he's okay. I'm talking about turns it up. Jalen's likely on a 1-year deal in a way. right? Unless he takes a massive pay cut. But Jalen is likely not going to be here next year. So you're looking at needing that depth moving forward in the top 3 of your linebacker position. So Keanu Neal could be a potential signee in the middle of the season, but if they decide to do that, if his agent decides to do that, right? If his agent decides to do that. Shout out to Aaron Williams, $5 donation. He says, "Yo, Sky, just saw that we restructured Zeke's contract to open $6.8 million of cap space. What do you think this means?" I think they're just rolling it over into next year, most of it. But you may see them sign 1 or 2, like a left tackle, a swing tackle, right tackle, or I heard a weird rumor out there from Charles Robinson, potentially Johnny Hecker, punter. Interesting. He's a fossil guy. Apparently, the Rams may move on, so maybe they'll get a punter. But to me, I would go get a defensive tackle and a swing tackle if you think there's one out there that's going to be better than Ty Nsekhe, because I'm a little nervous about the swing tackle situation for the Cowboys. But is there going to be a guy on the market better than them? At this point, you're kind of just taking your chances. Prime time, so they can't find it. No, so it's not on my channel. It's on Boss Cowboys channel. It's on Boss's channel. Carlos is bringing out Geno Atkins. Matt Owen says P.J. Hall visit was interesting. Yeah, P.J. Hall, the defensive tackle. I think he played for the Raiders, something like that. And a couple other guys did come in. Shout out to UB Bird for the donation.
Super chat.
Says all of our new linebackers are an improvement in coverage. That's what our old ones lacked. Rip that Band-Aid off. Rip it off. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Because here's why. I came into the preseason saying, you know, Jabril Cox, if he has to develop, if it's more of a red shirt year and it's due to the guys playing well, so be it. And I'm still with that if they're playing better. But now we have NFL tape showing that Jabril Cox can play the NFL linebacker position. And he's standing out. Like, there's plays that he's making that I'm not seeing a certain other person making. So if football is a meritocracy, how can you tell me this man deserves to play over this man due to play? So it comes down to a decision to make. Do you go with old, I don't want to say reliable, but the guy you know who's getting paid, who was the leading tackler, right? Like, I know that he can lead the team in tackles if he's played 16 games and doesn't miss a snap. I know he can do that. Or do you go with the guy that has potential to bring more to that position? Younger, on a 4-year contract? Rip that Band-Aid off. Let's do it. Not saying cut him. I'm just saying. I'm ready to see those guys. 951. Welcome to the show. What it is, what it do?
What's the deal, man? This is tight. California.
Got Cali in the building?
Channel and everything. Yes, sir. You know, we got to represent on this side for the boys.
What's up with you?
Man, I was calling this so the channel support. Shout out to you. Hey, shout out my boy Treater. I called him and told him to tap in. He a Panthers fan, but that's all right.
Who's that?
My boy Tree. He in the comments talking stuff.
Oh, okay. Shout out to the Panthers fan then. Yeah, I mean, we welcome them all, brother. You know how we do over here.
Yeah, but we're going to still tear them boys down on week 4. That's for sure.
Rock them.
He's a big hater, man.
Cowboys going to rock them. But we'll get there. What's up?
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I'm just calling in to talk with you. Whatever. Man. I feel like Dak is the top 5 QB for sure, based off of everything he's already shown us. I'm with the progression of the team. I'm liking the way the defense is going as far as the linebackers. I agree. Jabril Cox should get some more time to shine.
How you feeling about that front?
The front, like the front 4?
Yeah, the depth up there.
You know, D-Ware, he's a solid. I mean, D-Law, he's a solid piece. I believe in Randy Gregory, man. I think it's his time to shine. I've been watching him since he first came to our team. He ain't never got his time. I think that boy gonna come off that edge screaming this year. People don't want to see it because, you know, the hate, but they don't really know that he was a physical freak, and he still is, and he's healthy and fresh. So it's gonna be dangerous coming up from edges, but they ain't gonna be ready for that.
Yeah, Randy's just in such a great place right now. It's kind of like the quiet before the storm in the sense of on the field, where
Yeah.
He's kind of being forgotten. It's real quiet, but I think his play, people are going to have no choice but to start talking about Randy Gregory once we get out there.
I like it like that. I love it like that, actually.
I had a real
People
deep.
quiet, but
Yeah.
them offensive coordinators, they're paying attention. They know what they know. Like, they're ahead of the loop, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the the offensive coordinators on the opposing team, once they see that tape, I said this, I think, during the after the Houston game, they're going to have a terrible choice to make. Either we double D-Law or we double Randy Gregory, but we can't double both. So,
And if you do that, we still got them athletic linebackers now that can get through the gaps, especially with Michael Parsons leading the charge.
yeah.
It's going to be too disturbing. And I don't think there's too many quarterbacks out there that can operate under that type of pressure. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. I believe in every year, but this year got a little touch on it for me.
I think it's because we were at the bottom of the barrel defensively. You get Dan Quinn in here. We're seeing the improvements. We have nowhere to go, but the Cowboys have nowhere to go but up on defense. Nowhere to go.
And we've been embarrassed. And, like I know our team, we perform under the pressure, under the spotlight. We're due for a comeback year.
Yeah.
We was, historically bad. Yeah, we're going to be historically good, and I'll bet on that.
Ooh, okay. Okay, I'm with it. All right, brother. Good call, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Let's roll into the chat real quick. And I'll get to you 252 and 351. That's strange how that came up. Y'all in here fussing with these boys. Y'all in here fussing. AJ says defense is finally becoming a well-balanced team, and hopefully offense takes a note from this and doesn't have to be an old school run first style offense. That's something that we kind of touched on a little bit yesterday. Sorry, y'all. I don't subscribe to the thought process that we have to be that, right? The old school run first offense. I subscribe to be balanced. You don't want your quarterback ever to throw the ball 40 times a game. You just don't. But you also don't want to run the ball 40 times a game. Find a balance. And then within that, the game plan should dictate what you do that week. So I believe it's styles make the fight, right? Matchups make the fight. Going up against Tampa, I think because it's week one, no one's talking about it. And again, we'll talk about this leading up to week one. We forget Tampa Bay Buccaneers were the number one run defense in yards per game, yards per rush touchdowns, and obviously total yards. And this isn't a fluke. This isn't because the pass defense sucked, right? It wasn't one of those type things. It was go look at the talent. Go look at Todd Bowles. The running defense, Ndamukong Suh, Levante David, who's Devin White, JPP, Golston, Vita Vea. These are elite defenders in that aspect, and they make it tough. So I don't want the Cowboys to go into this game all Jason Garrett. We're just going to be hard-headed and just run the ball 35 times right up the gut or right off of the C gap just because Dak Prescott hadn't played since October. Don't do that. If Dak Prescott is good to go, he's good to go. Find your balance. Be smart in how you attack the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but don't play scared. That's scared ball, in my opinion. Ain't smart ball. It's scared ball. Hey, Dak ain't played since October, man. We only can limit him to 15 to 17 throws today. You know how Todd Bowles will eat that up. So I don't subscribe to the fact that we got to get out there and just pound the ball because it's week one and we got to take it slow. If you got to take it slow, Dak ain't ready. I'll get off my soapbox on that. 252. What it is, what it do? What's going on, TP? Good morning, sir. That's a good point. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I can't
by
hear
their.
you. Oops.
Are you good? You good now?
I could hear you. They couldn't hear you. So what he was saying was he hopes that Dak keeps a level head going into this game.
Yeah.
He doesn't want him to go out there and feel like he has to make every play because he's got something to prove. I think that's a great point.
Right.
And I think that goes back into TP, the mental aspect of Dak, right? Like, Dak is a mentally sharp cat. He also is extremely competitive, but he's smart. So I don't necessarily, if Dak wasn't hurt, I wouldn't worry about that. But I can see where there's some concern because it feels like maybe he has something to prove since he went down. He got paid. He's playing against Tom Brady. That all goes into Dak having to be mentally sharp to fight off those temptations.
Right. And I'm just hoping that he just keep a level head and say, okay, all right, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna do what I have to do, but I'm gonna take what the defense is giving me. You know what I'm saying?
Which normally he does.
And yeah, he does. But I'm just saying, like we said, it's so much going on, paid, injuries. You know what I'm saying? People talking about they don't know if he can do this and do that. But like you said, he's mentally strong though. He used to be mentally strong, and I think he still is. But I'm just hoping. You just don't know until you know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I also just think that the offensive line. I just hope that Tyron stay up. I hope that Lyle stay up. And really, if you look at it, the Cowboys are playing down mirror. They're playing Tampa Bay. Actually, both of them, to me, is almost equal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Tampa's
it's going to be.
Tampa's defense is going to what they're saying over there. Tampa fans are probably this, man. That Cowboys passing attack, those receivers, Dak Prescott, those tight ends, like we got to get home. And on the flip side, the Cowboys should be saying, man, that Tampa front seven, we got to block it up, because if the Cowboys block it up, if the Cowboys block it up week to week, I don't think anyone can compete with the Cowboys passing attack. But if they can't block it up, now you're becoming one-dimensional, and you're playing right into Tybo's hands. So it's going to be a very fun game. And I know we're way ahead of the Tampa game, but it's going to be interesting when we break that one down.
Well, like I said before, I'm still standing on what I think. I still think we're going to go out there, we're going to get them. But, they got to prove me wrong, and I'm not saying it because I'm biased. I'm just saying it's just what I believe.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just believe it. And I'll let you know. I got something to let you know before I go. I should be in Dallas in about a couple of weeks, and I got some friends out there. I'm gonna go holler at, and hopefully I hit you up.
Yeah, man, I'm around, brother. I told you, TP, get with me.
All right. Well, go ahead on Sky, do your thing, man. And the restructuring of Zeke's contract. What's up with that? What you feel? And I'm out of here.
I think they're gonna roll most of it over into next year. But if they do anything with it this offseason, it'll be at defensive tackle, or should be at defensive tackle or swing tackle once those cuts happen. I think Dallas desperately needs depth on a defensive tackle due to Tristan Hill and Gallimore being out. So maybe they'll dabble into that future money and grab a defensive tackle. But I don't think anything major is happening.
Okay, so you don't think nothing like Geno Atkins or nothing like that is on the way, or nothing like that?
Well, that could be one of the signings, a defensive tackle. But I don't think it's going to cost you a boatload of money. I feel like you could have got Geno Atkins without doing this. I think this was more for 2022.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, all right. Peace. I'll let you later, man.
Yep, I'm going. All right. We are going to have to move forward to the next block of this show, and that's the bubble players. So as I'm sitting here, I'm going to get this 351 here in this call. I want you guys to start thinking about your bubble players that need to show out the most on Sunday, because this is the last shot that these guys got to make a name for themselves or make the roster, period. So let me get this 351 real quick, and then we'll get into the bubble players.
Hey, hello.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, not too much. Just enjoying your show. I'm in Portugal, so this is the middle of the afternoon for me. I have no idea what time it is.
Wow.
Anyway, I was actually going to talk about the bubble players. Because I think there's 4 pretty interesting cuts that they'll make on day, the day before, that we wouldn't expect to be cut. but that they think they might be able to get past waivers and then re-sign or bring him back on day 2. And I think those are going to be Carlos Watkins, who came in and everybody was I think Carlos Watkins is going to be cut and then brought back on day 2. I think Terrell Basham will be cut and brought back on day 2. I think Nick Ralston will be cut and then brought back on day 2.
I see that one.
And I think Jeremy Sprinkle will be cut and then brought back on day 2 because they have to have Tristan Hill, Josh Ball, the tight end McEwen, and Neville Gallimore on the roster, right, for one day, so they can put them on IR to return. Because if they don't put them on IR to return, they got to stay on IR the whole year. And to be on IR to return, you got to be on the roster for one day. And so they're going to make some pretty crazy cuts.
I think that's so
guys that we really want to keep.
How does it happen for guys like Watkins and Basham who are veterans? I don't think they have to go through waivers, right?
That I don't know. Like that's the one thing because of IR to return. I don't know what the rule is on that. Like if it even matters if you're a rookie or a veteran if you're on IR to return. Because
what I would do to not even jeopardize that, because man, the last thing you want to do is you cut to Carlos Watkins. I'm telling you, this depth up front is very slim, and Carlos Watkins gets picked up elsewhere. You are in a boatload of trouble. So, me personally,
but the funny thing is
yeah.
I just think that Carlos Watkins is not respected in the league. Dallas likes him. But remember, he hardly played. He was on the COVID scenario, so he didn't play versus Houston.
All right.
So the league didn't see him. Most of these GMs are looking at his PFF score or whatever, his old tape from Houston, and they're going, that guy wasn't very good.
Yeah, but you're talking about Dan Quinn has Carlos Watkins as a starting defensive tackle. That's really hard to fathom.
I get it. But the guy who performed was Urban. I mean, when Brent Urban came in, he ain't going nowhere. Exactly. They're not going to get rid of him. And the thing of it is if you look at the depth chart at D tackle or on D line, whoever they give up, maybe they could cut Dorrance Armstrong and bring him back the next day. But I don't think that he would last because he's really performing in that. Yeah, they like him, and B, he's been really performing well in the preseason.
You don't think any of the other guys like one of the down roster guys, like a Zor Kamara?
I think Mukwama would be taken. Like if they took Kamara's just going to be cut and waived and put on the practice squad. He'll go through waivers, right? He'll just get through waivers. He's not a big enough profile guy.
That is very
and he doesn't have the measurables that so those guys will just be cut and waived and put on the practice squad because they'll clear waivers.
Let me tell you something.
Dangerous ones.
Let me tell you something. If you hit on Watkins and Basham being cut, that's a hell of a damn call. That's a hell of a damn call. You had to come back. You got to come back and get your flowers if that happens. I actually agree with you though on Ralston and Sprinkle. I could totally see that happening. Right, Nick Ralston.
Oh, yeah.
I think this cat's going to be on the team, but it's going to be one of those tricky, like we just talked about, right? Hey, wink, wink, we're going to cut you, but only because we got to put so and so on IR, then we're going to bring you back. And I think Nick Ralston's going to find out that fullbacks are not a hot commodity in here. So if somebody wants you, you best go back to the team.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. And the thing is, people would say like instead of Watkins, or instead of Basham, maybe Bradley and I is the one cut. But Bradley and I played really well against Texas or against the Texans.
I wouldn't want to do that.
And he showed out, and so it's like he's going to get poached. So if you're gonna put two guys out to like possibly get picked up, you put the two most expensive guys, and that are also guys that the rest of the league might disrespect, right? So you kind of like go, okay, nobody respects Basham, nobody respects Watkins, and they're expensive if they get taken. Oops.
I think Basham could be. I think Basham could get picked up, but
I think it could be good.
It's one of those things.
It could be good.
It's one of those things where with Basham.
But he's on the Jets.
Yeah, it's one of those things with Basham where, and Watkins, but mostly Basham. You go to him and say, "Hey, we're not cutting you because we don't like you. We're cutting you to make a move. So please come back," type thing. With Watkins, the only reason why I worry about that is because of the depth at that position is so slim. Do you take that chance of Watkins?
Oh my God!
Not saying that Watkins is a world beater.
Crazy.
You're not saying he's a world beater, right? It's just that he has played well in the preseason. He has. I mean, that's just fact.
Oh yeah.
And he's looked at as one of
their
starters.
He's done great in practice. He's been great in practice. There's a reason why everybody's surprised. When they signed him, I think collectively everybody went, Carlos Watkins can't body.
So
right, like that's like everybody said.
And
then suddenly he turns up at training camp and he's freaking.
He's playing good. He's playing good. It's one of those things. If I'm Watkins and they come to me and ask me, say, hey, we want to cut you, I'm gonna be like, what? Yeah.
Because you have to look at as the year progresses. Let's look at the guys who they need to have on the roster that day, the first day, just for 24 hours, even though they're injured or whatever. Tristan Hill, you need more 3 technique help, and he is actually coming along, and he's on the bands now, and he's looking a little spry. They say, I mean, that's the thing, and he did flash last year pretty well until he got injured. Josh Ball, they need offensive tackle help. I mean, and if he really was, I mean, because of his character concerns, if they waived him and then sort of like counted on the character concerns to keep other teams away, maybe.
That's one.
But they need offensive tackle help. I mean, they need it. They don't just want it; they need it.
I wonder.
And McKeon, I don't think they need, but they, whatever. But
McKeon probably get cut and put on IR or what have you, or come back, or the injured waived IR thing, clear waivers, and I think.
And they need Gallimore. I mean, Gallimore's real good.
Oh, so, Gallimore's not going. Gallimore's going to make the team and then probably be put on IR to return. Yeah. I don't know if Tristan will. I think Tristan might be on the pup. But let's talk about Tristan real quick. Carlos would be the shocker cut to you, right? The not shocker cut, but the cut that might say, "Hey, whoa." To me, I'd say Tristan Hill.
Interesting.
I say Tristan Hill because you know what I mean? Because kind of similar to the Watkins.
It makes sense.
To the Watkins thing. Does the league really? I don't know, but does the league really look at Tristan Hill? You talk about PFF grades. His grades are horrid over the first 2 years of his career. They're horrid, and his flashes are they enough to say I'm going to scoop him on waiver and take his second round contract, which isn't crazy, but so I wonder if they're looking at Tristan as, hey, we'll cut you, but come back type thing. And Tristan says, yeah, I want to do this because Gallimore's out. There's not much depth. This is the team that picked me, yada, yada. But I wonder if with Osa showing his improvement, they say, hey,
great.
Right.
Turn out real
right.
Well, it's going to be interesting because I think here's the thing. I think both Josh Ball and Tristan Hill would be Raiders in 2 seconds if they don't. I don't know. But remember secure their services, however that works. I'm not sure, but
he got to the doghouse. Tristan got to the doghouse with Marinelli. That was an interesting situation because we all thought he loved Tristan Hill.
That's true. It's such an oddity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like because there was obviously a love fest, or else he wouldn't have drafted him. He would have drafted one of the safeties, but he fell in love with Hill off campus. And then as soon as he got in the door, I don't know what happened, but it won.
Well, what happened was the red flags were real, right? Like he doesn't have the attention span. He's immature. He's not a film guy. He's not first in, last to leave. His maturity level was off the charts. It was in a bad way. So all those red flags showed up, and all those things we said, you can't be that way with Rob Marinelli. Like Rob Marinelli will literally go get somebody out the garbage and make him a starter if you're going to act like that. So,
that's the thing about Watkins. And the hilarious thing about Watkins is I think if Watkins went over to the Raiders with Marinelli, that something good would happen to Watkins. Like I think Watkins is a guy that actually is a Marinelli type. He's disruptive and weird and undervalued by anybody, but man, he shows up and then suddenly,
so why
that's a Marinelli guy.
That's my thing. Why cut him?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, that's the thing. It only takes one team to claim a guy off waivers. So,
that's true.
That's 31 other guys. So who knows?
Call in Monday. We're going to do the 53-man roster. I've enjoyed this call. Call in Monday, and we'll battle it out here and see where we can fit them, because you have to actually go through it, right? Like you have to talk.
Oh yeah.
Because we're talking about depth at the position, but Carlos Watkins may not be competing with somebody at that position, right? He may be competing with the fifth corner or the sixth receiver or the fourth tackle
or the,
you know what I mean? So, or the fifth or sixth linebacker.
He's competing to me against Mukuamu. Like for me, it's Watkins, Mukuamu, and I don't know. God, I hope it's not Canada. If they cut Canada, I'm gonna.
No,
anything. But I'm just gonna be like, what the hell is going on in freaking Dallas if they cut Canada? I'd be like, what? Or if they, God bless everyone. But you never know what the coaches are thinking. But I mean, at the end, there's going to be a couple of cuts where we're like, wait a second, what?
Every year we always say
because there's always that's why I said, wait a second, what? And I'm like, who are the wait a second what guys? And it's Watkins.
That is Carlos Watkins.
Good.
That's good. That's good. And here's why I can't go full left on you with Basham because he got injured and he hasn't played. Yeah. And a guy like Bradley and Nye is showing up. Dorrance Armstrong showing up. Carter is showing up. And I'm a Basham fan. I think he proved in this league he can play and rush the passer. But I don't know if you want to completely give up on him. So that's interesting.
No, I agree. And that's the thing that makes them kind of crazy cuts. Like, I would take Gallimore over Basham, for example. Would I take Hill over Basham? I don't think so.
I would.
But they might, because they might need value on the inside, right? They may need more help at D tackle. So it's kind of one of those weird, the balancing act on this thing is crazy.
It is. It is.
Which I love.
In fact, I'm going to go into our 5 guys after this call, and a few of them may be part of that, hey, we're going to sneak you on the roster, or we're going to cut you and bring them back. So we'll get into that in a second, man. I appreciate the call, brother. Cool. Very good call.
Have a sweet day.
You too, man. Have a good one. Man, what a call. I didn't even think about that. Because I'm like, no way they're going to cut Carlos Watkins. Right? Like, Carlos Watkins is their guy. His starter. But then he makes a compelling, interesting argument. And definitely with Basham. I still don't see it with Basham, but it could be one of those things where they just say, you know what? Anai showed what he could do. Carter showing stuff. Dorrance Armstrong, we out on Basham? Not necessarily out because he's saying cut and bring back, but Basham don't seem like the type of guy that's going to be with that kind of move. Great call. Great call. All right, so here are my 5 guys. Let me bring it up. The Bubble Boys, right? Cowboys on the bubble. That need, in my opinion, regardless of it being against Jacksonville, regardless of it being the last preseason game, you want to put good tape out there. Israel Mukuamu. He's probably the most interesting of the 5, I'm sorry. Because he's been very versatile this year in preseason. 30 snaps in the box, 27 at free safety, 18 in the slot. He's been all over the place. 5 tackles, a couple stops on 87 snaps in the preseason. And so you talk about exposing Watkins, Professor O. A lot of people don't want to expose Mukuamu. And I think that might be something there. That might be something in the sense of 6'4", right? It runs like a 4'5", athletic guy, plays some corner, can do some things for you at safety, slot. Interesting guy. There could be a coach out there that sees that and just snaps him right up off the wire. Sadiqa says, can you explain the bubble? So when we say bubble, we mean, I don't know if you guys play poker, right? There's a final, they call him a bubble boy, right? The money, to get into the money. Say they pay out 52 people. If you're the 53rd person that gets taken out of a tournament, you're the bubble boy. So the Cowboys are on the bubble. What I mean by that is, who are the guys that need to break through to make it inside the 53? Or at the very least get one of those wink, wink, we're going to release you, but come back type things. Now, all of these guys are young bucks, so they're susceptible to the waiver wire. The Calder brought up some interesting veterans that are not. So the bubble, Sadiqa, is the guys fighting to get on the team. The last 2 or 3 roster spots. And I think Mukuamu is one of those guys. I think Simi Fehoko is absolutely one of those guys. Maybe one of the more disappointing draft picks because I'm not going to lie, maybe I shouldn't have, but I had kind of high hopes for Simi. But guess what? I don't think it's all his fault in the preseason games because of who's throwing him the rock. 6 receptions, 56 yards and only 9.3 yards per reception. Showed some versatility playing in the slot 30% of the time in preseason. Made very few plays. And unfortunately, when it's all you have, that's what you got to do. You got to make plays. So, I feel like Simi either going to have to go long at 6 at receiver or say, hey, we're want to take our chances. But that's another guy where, hey, get him over there in Packerland or something like that. You know, I don't think he's going to last long. So I just would like to see Simi Fehoko kind of stamp his way onto this roster. Do one of those UCLA games, Simi, where it's the last game of the year. Can't hold it. What is it? Last game of the year, Brett. Can't hold anything back. Yeah, Simi needs one of those so he can stand out and kind of just stamp his presence on this roster. Let me get into the chat real quick. Cowboys will make a trade with one of the corners. You think that they'll trade Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, or Kennedy before the season? Look for backup center or defensive tackle. I'd be shocked if they did any of that, and especially not getting a corner back in return. You need to keep the depth that you have at corner. If some people don't even want to call it that, but I'm already concerned about the cornerback position. Why get rid of a corner and not bring a cornerback in return? Paul says, I see Fehoko as a Miles Austin, but don't think he will make it to practice squad. So, yeah. Remember, Miles Austin started off, I think, practice squad and worked his way up as a returner and then finally got some snaps as a receiver. If the Cowboys can mold Simi Fehoko in that order, that'd be perfect, right? Like, you want Simi to be prepared for next year when the likelihood of Gallup not returning is pretty high. Cedric Wilson, Noah Brown, I don't think all three of those guys will be back. So I don't know that I want to get rid of Simi, but he hadn't done much to put a bunch of faith in him. The top 5 receivers on this team are solidified. He'll never dress unless there's an injury. What's going on, Damon? And then Azor Kamara. So here's an interesting thing about Kamara. Great story, right? Kamara's been hit and miss in camp, hit and miss in preseason. However, our guest we had on the show on Wednesday, a decorated journalist covering the Cowboys, Bob Sturm, had an interesting point about the special teams. He does a special teams article every year. He thinks that you should lock in Azor Kamara on this team. And here's why. He's one of only 3 players to play on all 4 of the core special team units, not counting the field goals, but the punt, return, punt coverage, kickoff, return, kick coverage. And he did so in the dress rehearsal game. Remember, we talked about how pay attention to where these guys play and when they play. So he thinks that Kamara is actually going to make this team because of special teams. And I talked about the depth at defensive end, right? The depth at pass rusher and the upside in Kamara in that. But he's extremely raw and he has a ways to go. Maybe the Cowboys are looking at him like, I like what we see in regards to the potential. Let's get him on the team, have him play special teams, and we'll revisit this next year. I'm with you. He definitely needs more development, but very interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on that because Sturm's been really hit. He's been hitting with the special team stuff. So he has Kamara on there. He's played 29 special team snaps this preseason. And then you got the running backs. Jaquan Hardy and Brendan Nix. Oh, before I get there, and this is the thing right here, Chandra. You say we can let Darian Thompson go. That's the thing. He's one of the guys that are a core special teams player. He's one of the guys. And you know, as Cowboy fans, we're ready to wipe our hands with him, right? I mean, and he hasn't given us many reasons to not. But coaches, you know, what did we say weeks ago? If there's one coach to get in your back pocket, to get on your side, it's Bones Fossil. It's Bones Fossil. And if Darian Thompson at the least can become a special teams ace, I'll roll with it. Especially with the depth at safety right now. But the minute Darian Thompson has to play free safety at some point, no. All right, Jaquan Hardy and Brendan Knox. The reason why I have them here is because of Rico Dowdle going down due to the hip injury. And if the Cowboys don't go out and sign a running back, these guys have to separate themselves on Sunday. Knox is the guy that has some explosiveness to him. Hardy's the guy that shows some power and some balance to him. Neither have essentially separated themselves. We also could get to the point where, guys, Hardy and Knox aren't the guys. And it's Ralston. I'm wondering if Ralston if they roll with just 2 running backs and Rawson as a fullback. It's something very interesting to think about. DJ Dog said use Fehoko interest as trade bait. It's tough. It's tough because I want to think about 2021, but I also have to understand next year, technically speaking, the only 3 wide receivers on this roster contractually are CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Simi Fehoko. So I got to keep that in mind. All right, got a couple calls before we get out of here because there is practice today, and I got to get down there. I almost forgot about having to get up out of here. 919, what it do?
What's going on, guys? Rico, man.
What's up, Rico? Rico Dowdle?
No, not Rico Dowdle.
What's up?
No, I wanted to come in on that call with the guy earlier talking about cutting
Watkins and Basham.
Yeah, I don't see that. Now I think it's Hill and Wande Carter is his number. Is that the other gentleman? The other defensive end. I can see them 2 getting cut. And the reason why is because I heard a beat writer earlier this year, and they were talking about the Dak Prescott contract situation. Jerry Jones is in win now mode to a certain degree. He knows he don't have 20 years left. Not saying I wish him death on nobody, but
no, he
knows he cannot.
Yeah. Jerry has said
he knows he don't have 20. Yeah, he knows he don't have 20 years, and then he showed the emotions when he admitted with Jimmy Johnson and all that. Even though that was both of them did wrong. So to me, I don't think they can risk cutting Basham, Watkins, some of them guys.
I'm with you.
Because
I'm with
you. Like you said, if they get Basham, you might get away with it because I think Bradley now. I said it. I think the last time I spoke with you, I think he's the second best natural pass rusher on his team.
Second best. I do have him in my top 4, but woo, he said second best.
I think if he got the snaps and was to get his legs up under him, I think that Cowboys fans would be like, wow, where he come from? Because
he's a gifted pass rusher.
He come natural. Just like Gregory, it comes natural. Them guys can roll out the couch and get you 6. So like I said, I think Wande Carter and Hill, and the reason why is you could cut both of them guys, and I don't think nobody's going to scoop them up, and you can bring them right back, especially Hill.
That's where I would rather keep. Here's why I'd rather keep Watkins and Basham, because those guys are going to play like right now. And I don't want to risk them. Right. Whereas Carter and Hill are not, because one, Hill is hurt. Right, so he's likely going to be on PUP. So, and they'll probably keep him. But if it came down to a tough cut to make, he's the one I'd make, because if he gets scooped, he's not playing anyway. You know what I mean? So, but if Basham gets picked up or decides to go somewhere else, if Watkins decides to go somewhere else, then you're in a dire strait, in my opinion, on the defensive line. And Carter, I think Carter can be brought back. But remember, Carter did get picked up last year by the Colts.
Yeah, but you got to weigh the lesser of 2 evils. And to me, Carter's not if you look at where he's been getting his snaps at, and you look at he's not getting snapped with the first team at all.
Not even close.
Bradley and I, that's right. Bradley and I played with the first string last week and the week before. So you can see, and Basham was starting before he got hurt. So like I said, and you can't afford that because Dallas is in a win now mode. Because this is the thing. In 2 years, Dallas going to have to rebuild the offensive line. That offensive line ain't got about 2 more years left in them, in my opinion. Because that's going to be the key to the season, the offensive line.
Yep.
If that offensive line stay healthy, it could be a special year. If that offensive line get broke up, even with Dak and Zeke on healthy, we might could squeak out a wild card, but we're not going to go far. That offensive line is the key. That's going to be the key to that game against China.
I think it's going to be the key to the cut downs. Like we talking about getting rid of, the not the Carters, but the Watkins and the Bashams, right? Those are some interesting names. I think the real cut downs, wink, wink, bring back is going to come to the offensive line because they got some decisions to make with Brandon Knight, Terrence Steele, Tynan Secchi, Matt Fournier. Like, if I'm saying that right, those guys all potentially, not all of them, but some of them could potentially be cut and given the wink, wink, come back. Or if you say, hey, do I want to risk it or biscuit with Basham, right? Or do I want to cut a Tynan Secchi? I'm cutting Tynan Secchi. I'm not risking Basham for Tynan Secchi. You know what I'm saying?
Some of the offensive linemen.
Yeah.
I think some of the linemen we got from Buffalo, I think he's cut anyway. I think he's going to fall into that category like we did with the safety last year, the one we got from Green Bay. I think he's done. And I think Brandon Knight is done. I do think Terrence Steele is going to make the team, and they're going to wait for the ball kid to get healthy. Because this is what I think they're going to do. That's right. This is what I think they're going to do. If Tyron Smith goes down a couple games because of Conor McGovern where he's playing, and teams that offered to trade for him, and they ain't listening, they just gonna move him right to that tackle spot with Zach Martin and swing it out. Especially if we got to hold a couple games
That's what they should do. Zach Martin should be your swing tackle if you're going into the season with Brandon Knight, Terrence Steele, or Tynan Secchi as your technical swing tackle. I don't think they should play around. I think they should just move Zach Martin out to whoever got hurt, right? Just shuffle that part around and slide Connor McGovern in because it's about the best five. And McGovern should be a part of that if anybody goes down. He should be a part of that best five, in my opinion. I think you'd be doing a disservice to not move Zach Martin to tackle where he showed that he can play it.
Yes, that's what I said. Now,
but will they do it?
Collins went. Yeah, I think they would. I think the reason why they didn't do it last year because I think they wasn't sure the season was favorable. But this year, if we win and we go up 500 and we're in the mix, yes, they're gonna do it. Is Zach gonna do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
You have bigger. You'll have a reason to sacrifice that.
I don't know why they didn't do it sooner. The season wasn't over when we saw that there was issues. Dak was still in the game. Dak. They moved. Wasn't it the Seattle game? They moved Zach Martin to tackle and never moved him back. They should, or they moved him. They never moved him back out there. So the season wasn't over. For whatever reason, they decided to, hey, we're going to throw Terrence Steele back out there, which was silly. And they realized that too late.
This is different, in my opinion. Dak didn't have a shoulder and an ankle. Dak got coming off a surgery, ankle surgery, and strained shoulder. They're not going to roll the dice because they know. I believe it when they're
going to have to show me. They're going to have to show me because there's already a couple decisions where I'm like, well, why is so-and-so not playing or why is so-and-so? You know what I mean? So they got to show me that if one of those tackles goes down, there is no discussion. Zach Martin's your swing tackle. Because there was too much discussion last year with that. And they rolled out Terrence Steele continually. You know what I mean? Like that's a little bit wearisome to me.
Well, I think Terrence Steele would play if Collins went down, and I would feel pretty confident on that with him on that side. But if Tyron Smith go down, that's your blind side. No,
I don't want none of them dudes. I don't want none of them dudes in there. Listen, Terrence.
And then that ball kid was highly talented. He dropped because of his whatever that situation was in. So they waiting to see what he's gonna do. But like I said,
I'm gonna end you with this.
Some of these players.
I'm gonna end you with this one. None of those guys have looked good in camp or preseason. And I'm not just saying that because I'm being a negative Nancy.
No, you're right.
It's just like none, even Josh Ball. Like if you listen to Brian, you listen to Jeff, the guys that were down at Oxnard, they've all said, I am scared. If any of these guys have to get in there for an extended period of time, the weakest part of the offense is the backup tackle situation, including Josh Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Josh and Terrence just aren't ready yet. So I think it would be a disservice if you don't put Zach out there. I'm with you. I hope they do, though.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, it all depends on, where Dallas are situated in. Last year, I think Dallas didn't realize they had a chance to win the division until after they saw Redskins and the Giants, the Eagles kept trying to give it to us. They kept trying to give it to us because we beat up on a few bad teams last year, in the middle where right at the end. And the Giants and Washington and Philly kept trying to give it to us. And then we said, well, if y'all don't want it, then okay, we'll try to take it. But this year is different.
Yeah, we'll see.
If all our skilled players are healthy, you got to go, by all means, you got to do what you got to do.
Gotta do
and
what
like
you
I
gotta
said, and Zach telling an all-pro guy to leave one position and go to another one, and you're 6-10, and telling a guy to do it when you.
Well, they weren't 6-10 at the time. It was week 3. It was week 3 of the season.
But still, when you look at what you saw, and I'm a Cowboy fan, I'm gonna be honest with you, not just me speaking. And I'm a Cowboy, but I'm not one of them Cowboy fans that blind. I just being
what you
biased.
getting at? What you getting at?
What I'm trying to say is I never thought Dallas was going to do anything last year. When I looked at how the defensive line,
you're looking at it as a fan. You're looking at it as a fan. You can't look at it that way. The coaches don't go until each week saying, you know what, I don't think we're going to do nothing anyway, so I'm going to put the worst possible lineup out there.
No, I didn't say that. But what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say is they didn't look at it that way. Did I pull for them every Sunday? Yes. Did I want them to win? But this is the thing. I feel more confident with what I got with a Dak and a Zeke back there than I would with Ben DiNucci, a triple G, double G, whatever you want to call it, and
No, I hear you.
washed up.
I think we're just not on the same page here. If this was week 15, they're not going to make that decision with Zach, but it was week 3, and I don't know why they didn't kick him out there. But let me get another caller in here, Rico.
You have a good one, man. All right, you have a good one, man.
All right, brother. 954. What it do?
Hey, what's up? Guys, it's boy Matt, South Florida.
Matt, you a fan favorite around here.
I know. And it's so funny because I was listening to y'all show last night, and I feel like, bro, all of that they keep going in on this Jalen thing, but
oh my God! And you know me, you know I was like, listen, man, I'm not here for
this. I saw you.
That's my guy. But we're talking about Sean Lee and Jalen, and we're talking about. I'm like, come on, man, let's not do this again. It was a fun debate.
Sean Lee was more impactful.
Yeah, it was a fun debate.
I was going to keep it quick today because I'm going to let you get to your.
Yeah, I gotta get going soon. Yeah, what's up?
I wanted to touch on what Boss touched on last night when he was talking about when he showed the clip with the Cleveland Browns in the 12 package.
Yeah,
I think if I was Dan Quinn, my package to combat not only that, but if they wanted to flank somebody out in the slot, a receiver, I'll go with a Joker package of slotting Cox in that roamer star safety-ish position to cover the tight end, anybody that's flanked out. I had
that's what Boss was saying.
Yeah. I think that package with Kiki at the wheel, Mike at the Sam, and Jalen at the mic, and you have Randy and D-Law. That package could go against any kind of formation that they want to throw out there, and you won't even have to sub in anybody else. You could just drop down Cox, cover that dude, him dude, or even flick Kiki and Cox at linebacker and safety.
So you're saying 42, 11, and 48, and then you got 94, 90, and I'd imagine probably 95 and probably 91 or 75 in there. That looks like a 4-3 to me. You know what I'm saying?
But if they throw out a slot, you could drop down Cox or Neal to cover that, and you could still have your.
It's not really dropping them down though. Like that's what I was trying to get at yesterday with them. Like I don't know that you need to create a special role for Cox. Just include him in the linebacker rotation. Like what the role you're talking about is the big nickel. And I think we're going to see that. We're going to see the big nickel where there's 3 safeties out there, right? And the Cowboys didn't do big nickel last year. They brought in regular nickel and with Anthony Brown in the slot, which was just dumb. Like there's no argument about that. But if you have 3 linebackers out there, 48, 42, and 11, and 4 down linemen, that's a 4-3. Like there's not a specialty role.
But I'm just not comfortable with anybody else out there at Mike other than Jalen because they've never done it. and that it takes nuance at that position. You can't just
throw
an athlete at that position.
But didn't you say Micah's going to be in the middle at Mike in this scenario?
No, I said Sam. No, Sam.
So who's
Micah's
playing?
going to be the Sam.
Well, who's playing the Mike in this scenario?
Jalen. I said Jalen is going to be the Mike. Kiki is going to be the Will. Micah the Sam, and I have Cox as a star roamer position. Whatever they.
Oh, so you're actually going 4 linebackers. So you're essentially going 3-4. You're basically what you want to do.
But I'm still having.
In that situation, what you may do is slide 90 over and bring Micah down as a stand-up outside linebacker. But I would not put Jalen out there over those guys. But that's just me. You think Jalen's a good Mike?
I'm not saying over. I'm saying think about it, Scott. Think about it. Right? I have D-Law. I have Neville or Osa. I have Carlos Watkins or Brent Urban. I got Randy, 4 linemen. I got Micah, Jalen, Kiki, and I got Diggs, Cox, KZ.
I know what you're saying.
And I hope to God Kennedy out there. Whatever you can line up in 12, you can line up in 11, you can line up in 3 receivers if you want to. All I gotta do is drop it. Say Cox or Kiki, go out there, cover that. I can still defend the run. I still got my 3 linebackers out there to defend the run, and I got a safety / linebacker that can cover you, whoever you flank out there.
I don't think any of us. I don't think any of us were disagreeing with using Cox in that manner. Like there's no argument there. There's no debate with that. Like it'll be nice to get Cox out there. I personally think Cox doesn't have to play some specialty role. I know you're worried about the middle linebacker position in this situation, but if a talent is talent, if you're better, you're better. Just because, like you talked about, Jalen's the only one that played, it doesn't mean he was good at it. He wasn't. So I'd rather see what we got elsewhere. Huh?
In 2018, we didn't say that. In 2019, it was still wasn't that fair.
2021. That's the problem.
But he wasn't. It made a linebacker in 2020. That was LVE.
No.
The only one that did
LVE missed
was
9 games in 2020. Jalen was poor. Period. No matter where he played, it doesn't matter where he played. He was poor. Jalen Smith is not a middle linebacker. Like that's one thing we can all agree on. Besides Micah, you're right. We don't have that true thumper, traditional middle linebacker. Like I agree with you.
Yes.
So in that sense, why would I play somebody that I think is lesser than the other player? I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. That's how I look at it. But nonetheless, I don't want to make this about Jalen. This isn't about Jalen. You're trying to find a way to get Cox on the field, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm down with that role.
I want to get him on. The only reason I want it that way because I want to accumulate him to the speed to where just like how Woodson said they started him off at like a big linebacker, former linebacker, couple linebackers. I want him to get him on the field longer, to get the experience, to get the play, the tick. And then next year, okay, he's a linebacker.
He's a linebacker now.
But he's not gonna get on the field as much. He's gonna be strictly special team or strictly a specialty role anyways.
And that's my that's a problem in of itself. If they decide to not put Jabril Cox out there because of favoritism or because of branding or because of Jalen Smith or LVE, if he's playing better than those two, that is an entirely different problem. If they're not going to put him out there over those two guys, he's not going to play a specialty role. That's just is what it is. They're going to what they're going to do? They're going to move Keanu Neal in that situation. And they're going to put Jalen and LVE out there. That's what's going to happen. Like if he can't outperform or outbeat LVE or Jalen Smith in general, why would they throw him out there in a special teams role? A special role, not special teams role.
Because he's going to be doing something that he's better than almost everybody else on the team on his coverage. The only reason I'm questionable now is that it takes the nuance to play the linebacker position. Like you got to understand when the center down block, that guard might be coming.
You're making it like it's rocket. You're making it like it's rocket science. And that's what I was arguing with Boss about when he tried to equate it to quarterback. It's not. Linebacker, these young bucks come into the league and they play well right away. Like, why are we acting like this is the quarterback position? We literally saw a rookie. LVE and Darius Leonard become all pros in their rookie year. I'm not worried about the fact that they didn't play a single down in the NFL at the position. Neither did Darius Leonard or LVE, and they both went to the All-Pro at the linebacker position. So I'm not sweating that. Rip the Band-Aid off. I started the show with this.
But LVE got exposed just like Jalen did in the playoffs that year. Darius Leonard wasn't as high a pick as LVE. That's right. These young linebackers that come out, they don't always succeed. It's not always the high picks that succeed. LVE had a good stretch. There are plenty of one-year wonders out there. There's plenty of them that do great 1 year.
I mean, I can
never hear them again.
I can go down a list of I can bring it up for you if you like, Matt, of other linebackers that's come in as rookies and been productive. Like, you know.
Yeah, it happens. I'm saying it's not the norm. It doesn't usually happen that way. That's why there's a lot of first round busts out there, and there's a lot of better hits in the later rounds because it doesn't usually work out like that. I'm just saying there's nuances to every position. You can't just throw a person out there just because they have to measure them over the speed and say, oh, they're just going to do it. No, they can, but there's still details to the position, to the game that if you know it, will make you down. That's why Sean Lee was
straw man argument, man. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. This is completely going off topic. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. But at the end of the day, if said player is better, are you not going to play said player because there's nuances? You know what? He's a young buck. He's a rookie. I'm not going to play him, even though he's better, because he ain't played the position in the NFL.
I'm still going to do, but I'm not going to rush it out there. I'm gonna ease it on them because there's not a great difference between you and the person that has experience. I'm not going to throw you out there to possibly do a negative impact on your career.
But what if the negative impact is a player? What if the negative impact is a player that's in front of you? See,
I get that. Well, I'm saying that Cox has played 8 games at linebacker. Neal has never played any games at linebacker. What? Micah, his biggest problem coming out was intricate misdirection and play recognition. No, I'm saying he played last year. He played like 8-9 games in LSU last year. Before that, he's been a DB his entire career.
No, he wasn't. But all right, we're not.
He only played in North Dakota, and he played DB. In high school, I saw him coming out of high school. He played DB in corner coming out. LSU was the only time where he
played. Yes, he's played some safety at North Dakota State. Also played linebacker. Yes, he played in the slot some at LSU. He also played linebacker. Once again, I mean, we're arguing all these semantics. I don't give a damn what he did at North Dakota State or LSU. There is tape right now showing that Jabril Cox is a really damn good player right now. And honestly, one of your top 3 or 4 linebackers. So, yes, I'm with you. Find a way to get him on the field. If it's in the big nickel situation, whatever. I personally think that we have safeties to play the big nickel. I don't need to necessarily put Jabril Cox out there, but if you want to, let's see what happens. But for me, I started to show off with this. Give me Keanu Neal, Jalen Smith, and Jabril Cox moving forward. I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. And in fact, like I said, LVE has looked better than Jalen Smith right now. So I know you standing on the Jalen Smith thing, but I'm sorry, brother. I think give me those 4 guys in any manner you want. I don't care. Big nickel, whatever hell you want to put them. I think those guys are better.
I just hope it's not like a Justin Fields moment. We just everything roses and we think remember his first game he played and they asked him about the speed and we thought, oh, this is slow. The very next game they ramped up that speed to give him some live action and he got pigeonholed in the air. I don't want that to be like we just rip the Band-Aid off thinking they're going to do this because they're going to get backup.
Rookies are going to have struggle moments, but we've seen our own regular veteran linebackers struggle as well. So it'd be a different story if this was prime Sean Lee. Jalen Smith is not prime Sean Lee. LVE is not prime Sean Lee. So you're talking about replacement level. If you can get at least replacement level, let's see what we got. And if they have potential to be more, let's see what we got. You're not replacing some all-pro guy. Jalen Smith is just not that good right now. Why are we capping for this dude? I don't understand this.
He's the same player. He's
not the same player. No, he's not.
He moves the same.
No, Matt. No, he does not, man. He does not.
I don't think they're that.
I knew this was going to happen. He does not move the same. He's not the same player. He's a worse player. He thinks too much. You can see it on film. He's not attacking the hole as fast as he can because he's thinking too much, by the way. His IQ is not that great. He's good coming downhill when he sees it and he just goes. Problem is he doesn't. And I know lateral movement is a buzzword, but it's real. Here's the problem. Everybody, Micah, Jabril, Neil, and LV are all going to get faked out. You keep bringing that up, like, oh, misdirection. They're all going to get misdirected. The difference is they have the physical capabilities to recover. Jalen Smith does not, and that continues to show. So, I don't know what more you want to say. He's not the same player in 2018. Go watch 2018 highlights, not even the lowlights. Just the highlights. Look how quick and fast he is to get to the ball, how he arrives with power, how he's seeing things better. I don't know why he's not seeing things as better right now. I can't tell you that. But to say he's the same player, I think is asinine.
Okay. But by any off chance that they can both get back to anything close to that, with what we have, I still think Micah, Leo, and Cox are better. But if by any off chance that they can get back to that 18 form,
that'd be great.
With what we have now. Yeah, right? But that's what I'm saying, to get that all out there. Because if Jalen can get back to 18 form, we would want him at middle linebacker, right? If he can get back to that form, we would want him back into that where he was.
I don't want to get into semantics. Put him wherever. If he can play well, put him wherever. Like, I don't care where you put him at. If it's middle linebacker, sure. But if he can play well for the Cowboys, let's rock. Let's roll. I like the depth at linebacker. I do.
Yeah.
All right, let me get one more caller, then I got to go. All right, Matt?
All right, enjoy, man.
Have a good one, brother. It's another Matt? 972, final call of the night. What's up?
The conference has been locked.
Man, how you doing?
I'm good, brother.
Man, talk about pitch counts. We need to get that guy on a pitch count, for real. Anyways.
I tried to steer it away from the Jalen thing, but it
bro,
somehow went back.
Married to that guy. It's all good, though. I feel that. I've loved bad players before. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, coming down to the wire, we're about to have to make that 53-man roster here any day now. What are your thoughts? I wanted to call and say this the other day before Dowdle got hurt. I really think that Quan, my boy Quan, should be on his team and can be useful and impactful on his team. What do you think about him?
You said Quan who?
Hardy.
Jaquan Hardy, the running back?
Yes, sir.
I gotta see more, and I'm glad we're going to see more on Sunday because he just hadn't had enough carries. I don't think he's even exceeded 25 carries in the preseason. So they got between Rico Dowdle, Jaquan Hardy, and Brendan Knox, they all had to kind of fight for these reps. But now Rico Dowdle is going down. I don't think you're going to see Tony Pollard. So I think you'll see a whole lot of Jaquan Hardy and Brendan Knox. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna pin this and holler at me on Monday. If Jaquan Hardy shows a little bit more, then I feel good about it. But right now, I'm kind of more leaning towards going with 2 running backs and maybe Nick Ralston at fullback if they want to carry 3 backs. I use that in air quotes, but that's where I'm at right now. Got to see more from Hardy.
I did see, I believe it was last week, he had like 30 yards in catches, I believe.
Yeah, 30 yards.
I may be wrong.
I like his balance. He's got that low center. He has that low center of gravity. I said I like his balance, and he runs pretty hard. But we need to keep him specs on. He can't be losing his contacts.
Shout out to my short people out there.
Oh, I'm one of them.
All right, dog. I appreciate you. I don't want to take too much time.
All right, brother.
Got you. We'll get it next time.
Yes, sir.
When maybe next year when Jalen's got, we'll have some more time.
All right, man. Have a good one, yo. Oh, man. All right. Oh, what is the irony of our guy, Matt? Matt, we got to figure a nickname out for you when you call into this show. We might have to put you on a pitch count. We might have to put you on a little bit of a pitch count because I don't like to keep circling around this Jalen thing. And it happened again. All right, guys. It is almost that time for practice, so I'm going to get up out of here and bust my butt down there so I can at least report something that I see. I'll probably be back later today with the extra point video, which will likely be about practice and what I see. I don't think they're going to do too much with the Saturday game. Probably going to be in shells. But I'm be like this watching Dak Prescott. I just want to make sure that Dak is all good, man. That's the number one thing, right? Number one thing. All right, before we go, real fast, let us know, what do you feel good about this weekend, this Friday, heading into Feel Good Friday? And I'll try to read some of your Feel Good Friday comments here. Me, what I feel good about is that this is the last weekend before real football. The last weekend before, well, for me at least, to kind of, all right, here we go. I believe next week, college, if I'm not mistaken, we get college football. And then the following, that Thursday, Cowboys open up the season. So not this week coming up, but that following week. Yes, that following week will be full-blown Monday through Friday. So get ready. Get ready. Buckle up, because you're going to get some explosive shows in the morning, some good shows in the morning to start off your Cowboys day. So that's what I'm feeling good about this weekend. Trey said, bro, you have to go live while you're watching the game. Not this year, because, Trey, I need to be able to woo-sah and then hit y'all with the halftime show and hit y'all with the post game with clear thoughts, clear as possibly can be. So no live streaming this year for me. Maybe on my phone I might do something, but not. I'm not doing play-by-play. Play-by-play, I had to play-by-play, man. Y'all don't understand. Gatekeeper says he got some new shoes. Got some kicks. Matt Owen says, Feel Good Friday. Dak is a go. That's all I needed. Paul says, no more live from Sky. That's right. No more live. Can't go live. I can't be the fan that I want to be live, because I got to watch what he's saying on YouTube. Damn. People taking things out of context, but they were entertaining. The live streams were very entertaining last year, in a year that was awful. It was absolutely awful. Michael Crum says, my Jabril Cox player profile about to drop once KD edits it. Feel good about that. Go check out his Feel Good Friday article. Tater says, I'm about to start a channel to roast these bad takes. The real Matt here. We will beat the Bucks, says B-Bird. Yo, go check out Voch Lombardi's. He did like an 11-minute montage. Oh my God, that was great. That was great. And he is our biggest cheerleader right now. You know, not literally, but in regards to week one, my goodness, if that don't get you hype, I don't know what's gonna get you hype. Kevin or King on Twitter says, fantasy draft Sunday night. Good luck, sir. Good luck. Real quick, Brian said, what's up with CJ Goodwin? I think he still makes the team, but he might be like last year, get cut and bring back. That's one of the guys. That's one of the guys that could get cut and bring back. All right, guys. With that said, man, on the way out, drop those fire emojis if you enjoyed the show. If you missed it, run that thing back, because hashtag run it back. That's how we do. Going to check out practice. I'll be back later today with my thoughts on it. Check that video out. Check out all of our articles on A2ZSports.com. Our talented writers continually put out some great stuff. Great show today. I appreciate you guys, man. Feel Good Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Love you much. We hit 10K, baby. 10K. Love you guys. We out.
I want me some glory hole.